Hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sports Cars. Today, got some parts on the bench here. This is a kit we sort of designed for Labro rear brakes. So if you've got Sierra rear end, and you've got standard calipers, and you've got Labros being these, they're bolt-on drive shafts. The kits that are out there generally on the marketplace are designed for the larger 273 disc, and you can't get them under a 13-inch wheel with a caliper, which is, these are the problem, these parts here that hold in for the mechanism for the handbrake cable. So we started to redesign, and it's taken a few months to get there, but we've got there in the end. We've got all these components on the bench, and I'm going to show you basically how we assemble it onto our rear upright, our standard MK Indy, it be an R or an RR, rear uprights, that's forward based. If you like what you see and you're into your kit cars, guys, then why not subscribe to our channel? Press subscribe, click on the bell icon, press all, and it'll send you notifications each week. How you assemble that all together to fit that under either a 7-inch wheel, Pro Race 1.2, or it quite easily fits under the 8-inch CXR compound motive as well. So if you've got the extra wide arches with the CXRs on, this fits on that as well. It's not a problem. But it runs a smaller disc. So you can run, you don't have to run the 273 with 15-inch wheels. We can run that with a smaller disc. So the kit comprises basically one Wilwood caliper, handbrake caliper. Comes with a disc as part of the kit as well. They're custom. You can, optional, which is on here, we have the billet bearing carriers with a 68mm bearing. And then we have the custom billet bracket with that, and also the fixing kit, so to speak, that bolts it together. So I'm going to show you how to assemble that now, and hopefully it'll give you a direction on what we've done. So take your standard, which it normally be associated on the car, we're doing it on the bench, standard upright, which is the forward based. You can then attach your bearing carrier. This is our billet bearing carrier. I'm going to show you as a part of the demonstration today, so the bearing carrier can go on. Now it can only sit in one plane because of the hole's alignment, so you can't swing it 180. There is a hole alignment on this, so you can put the bearing carrier on, and then we want the 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts.
What size are those bolts?
So these are 50mm M10 by 1. No, sorry, M10 by 1.25.
And the cap heads?
Cap heads, yeah. So slot the 4 in loosely. This will retain in. We've already pressed the bearings in those at the moment, so if you're looking for that. We've got a little gun, we're just going to bolt them on. 4 corners opposite loosely first, just so you get a nice bite on them. I'm not going to do these up to torques today, just to show you. That's on there. It's a bit more of a close-up. You can see billet bearing carrier is seated flush, and the caliper holder there. Then you can insert, this would be behind it, this would be your Labro that bolts onto your drive shaft. This would normally go in and through, like so. And then you've got your 27 spline adapter. Now, on these, your standard ones are much thicker, and we run a different disc, so these do have to be machined down to 135mm. Or, which one here, for example, we've done, this is our template one, we've actually drilled it as a template just to show that's been machined down. So we have these on the shelf brand new as well if you want them, or your existing one you can then machine them down if you want to 135mm. These slot on into there, and then your locking nut will wind that on. It's already loose, I'm not going to torque that out, but don't need to torque that out. So once it's on, you can then obviously fit in your disc. That's part of the kit. That will slot on. Now, if you're running the Pro Race 1.2 7-inch wheel, and you're probably running either a 185 or a 205 tyre on the rear of that, you will need a 6mm spacer to shim this for clearance on the wheel insert on the inside. The CXR 8-inch, absolutely no problem, there's plenty of clearance. So you've got the option there to run a 6mm wheel spacer is what's required on the Pro Race 1.2. But for now, we'll take that off. Then you take your caliper, you insert your pads, they're in here. We've got Mintex 1144s in there for now, just a part of the demonstrator. And then we've got 2, again, M10 cap heads. These are 45mm bolts. Come with part of the kit anyway. You can slot your caliper in position. I'm not going to torque them as I say today, I'm just nipping them up. So once that's in, these pins hold the caliper in. This is for your handbrake cable, then it will get inserted. So if you had a Pro Race 1.2, you'd put your 6mm shims on, and then we've got, handy enough, I've got Pro Race 1.2 just here, and we pop that on and seat that up, and obviously torque up your wheel nut. So there is about 4mm clearance on the handbrake caliper mechanism on the Pro Race 1.2, but you get about 20mm on the CXRs as well. So it all clears everything in there. As you can see, it sits in quite nicely as a whole kit and a package there. So that's kind of assembled there for you. Don't need that on the CXR, and you just need it on the Pro Race 1.2. So there you go. Custom Labro Wilwood rear handbrake for 13-inch wheels. Right, Shayman time. You probably saw on the socials this week, under Kit Car Direct and probably under MK Sportscars. We got this through this IVA test finally this week, and it'll be off to its new owner, get it registered, etc. So it's a CBR 1000RR Shayman, first off the production line, I do believe, for Andy. So nice colour combination, some nice details with the flags, sort of in the graphics there on the bonnet. You can see. I'm sure it'll go really well. We haven't really driven this car. Obviously it's not ours, it's the customers. Our basically process was to prep it for IVA, helping Andy out and get it through, which we've successfully done. So fingers crossed. You know, a few little bits that we've done afterwards. We've bolted on the side of the impact bars, which are on there. They're done. We've changed a few bits of headlights and trim and that, which customer wanted afterwards. So we've done some mods. Some of the indicated bars have gone back to where they wanted to, different things. So a couple of little changes on it, little tweaks, all ready for him to collect next week. Nice little Christmas present by all accounts. So yeah, move on. Let's see what we can find in the workshop next. Right, Mazda RX5 left-hand drive car. Been on with this week as well, tackling all different parts of different cars and kits at the moment. So I've done a few bits on this one. The exhaust system, we know about the mock-up. We've put this back on because we've been making the templates for the dimensions, so that will hit the manual. So if you're going left-hand drive, or you're going normally aspirated anyway, and you're going for the new stainless system, we'll have the whole cut-out dimensions in the manual. That'll be hitting the website probably next week by the time we update it on, etc. So that one, we've done the template for it. We've mocked up the steering column on this one as well, because we're going to be moving the car. The throttle, the pots are in for the brake reservoirs, and the low level caps are in. These are silly little floats that we have to put in for IVA. A little low level warning for your pot. The pots are all in for them. We put in the link pipe from the rear to the manifold in. That's gone in. What else have we been on with? Throttle cables in. That's all in. Clutch braided hose is not connected that side, but it's all on this side. That's all made. It's a longer clutch hose, obviously, because if it's a right-hand drive car, you've got a very short hose, only like 300mm long, where this is like 1100mm long. That's gone in as well. Where are we going? Moving. Don't look at that. We'll tell you about that in a minute. We go back to the rear of the car. Main fuel lines in, returns in, handbrake cables fitted up and all buttoned down as well. Braided hoses have gone in as well. Tanks all strapped up into a full roller. So it's all got brand new calipers, brand new discs, into a full roller. Pedal box once that's all mounted here. So basically this is going to head off to Neil's for over Christmas. He's got the joy of finishing this, tidying this Bursars up, which we've started on. The gauges we put in temporarily, all the ignition here, and what we do is prove the concept, make sure it works, fire it up, and then we'll start tidying it away under the bulkhead panel and everything else. Then it will come back into this in the new year. It'll come back into the showroom here, and we'll start putting all the bodywork on then, really. So because all the mock-up's been done, everything else, few connections to do at the front end, all the hoses, most of the hoses, and we'll have to run up the coolant hoses up to the header tank as well. So that'll head off for a few weeks while we have shut down over Christmas, and give us something to do during the closing down periods. So yeah, and you'll see that transform, and hopefully we can show you all running and rocking and rolling. Right, Indy Classic Fireblade, Jez's car. We've been on with some bits with this, trying to get this ready for its MOT next week. So a couple of things that we've done. So pipe work, we said about the plumbing. So we've started attacking all the plumbing. So we've got all new silicone hoses in here. We've got a nice new header tank also plumbed in, all the pipe work, etc. It's had a new bulkhead panel put in as well, because this was the previous affair, which I think we can probably agree it needed the update. It looks way better. We modified that and fitted all that in, and now we can mount the battery up the top here, because it was stuck down in the footwell, wasn't particularly secure. So nice new bulkhead, all the fittings, aluminium header tank, silicone hoses right the way through. We're securing the fan switch as well, because the fan switch weren't working. Water temperature gauge, as a little oil leak. Also the steering column was an MOT failure. We've put a new bush in here as well to strengthen all that. It had a big white sleeve on there that wasn't really working particularly well. And then the next couple of jobs to fit in is these. Our own branded gauges. So you've got water and a fuel. He's got a fuel gauge in there at the moment. A VDO here. So we're doing this to match with the other ones as well. So the fuel will get replaced, and then the water will sit up above here as well. So they look very smart in there. We'll get those plumbed in on Monday. And then a few little niggly jobs just to do for prepping for its MOT. And this is going for its MOT Tuesday morning. That's scheduled in. So once you've run it all up to temperatures and things like that. So I think the bulkhead's looking way cleaner, way nicer. Nice proper header tank rather than the old, well, where is... See if I can find where we put that round here. I think it's a vast improvement on that. So we're cracking on with that. So that'll be ready for its MOT. And then again, nice little Christmas present. You can get this back in the garage. Maybe there'll be some dry days over Christmas period and have some time out in the car, and you can hopefully it'll deal with all these cooling issues. We've tidied all the wiring up here as well, actually. All this has been tidied away and neat and tidied as well while we was doing the other few bits and bobs around in this area. Just got the cable ties to trim off, but put it in some conduit, tidied up as well. But you remember last week, green coolant, brown coolant, that should solve the problem. Flush the radiator out, so hopefully we should get a nice flow and return all on the whole system. Cool. Right, nice colour though, like that black and orange, killer. Right, Richard's RX5, been on with this week as well. A few bits being done. We spoke last week. I think the biggest thing you'll notice is it's hit the ground. It's hit the ground. So we're on with finishing off some of the final wiring under here, buttoning up. We said throttle cables in, a few other bits and bobs, plumbing and wiring under here. Putting in the lambda sensor, that's gone in as well. Just running in the pipe work for the link on those coolant temperature sensors for the Omex and all that's in. Just got the air temperature sensor to put into the filter once we plumb that underneath. The breather for the rocker cover, that's gone in with a little filter. Don't put mere chaps, see it drips oil maybe onto your manifold. You know, potential fire hazard. If you run it out of the way and run it to the other side as well. That'll save you a lot of grief, hopefully at one day. So indicator extensions have gone on, and carbon indicators, so a little bit of carbon detail in here, the clear lens ones that we put in this one as well. Grills on the front, headlight lenses from last week, braided hoses, final attachment done on those. The wings will bond on last, which we spoke about last week. Centre tunnel, this has been trimmed, ready for here. We'll fit that in. That's our one-piece GRP tunnel top. That's all been trimmed to fit in with a handbrake, and we get the gator on, etc. in there. That's the last job. Steering column's gone in. We've just got to button that up and do the final wire with the steering wheel, etc. on there. And then the biggest, I suppose the biggest change here is on the back. I'll get out the cameraman's way. Is Neil's way there. Obviously you see the fuel cup last week, and then we've put the LED light pack on as well. So we've got the all-in-one rectangular. They've got indicators, tail lights, everything, and the built-in reflector, all IVA compatible. Nice clean light with the LED fog light, LED reverse light, all on, all in a nice sort of line, all IVA compliant heights as well. Ready for your number plate. Last job to do is just the number plate light here, which will fit in this section. So we've just mocked up with our show plate there, so to speak, as well. Roll bar Just got to do the final bolt down on that. Once we do the boot cover, we'll fit all the boot cover as well. So this is getting really, really close now. Obviously, going to go into Christmas period, so this will be finished in the new year. But yeah, it's making very steady progress as well throughout the build. But again, we always say colours wise, every week I say it, but every time I look at it, black and yellow, do like that. Very smart indeed. So yeah, we get the bonnet on now. Leave that on. So a few little bits to do, and then we'll crack on with this Monday, Tuesday, and actually leading up to the Christmas period. Cool. Hope you're enjoying that, seeing what's going on. So if you're looking at RX5 kits, at least you're seeing how it bolts together. Not too difficult. Giant Meccano set, really. Right, what else is next? Right, MC time. So RX5, MC, R1, which we spoke about a few times this week. A few little touches done. We spoke about the headlights last week. Obviously we've got the standard R1 5EY engine in here with this airbox. This is a custom one we made at some point, so it's not an off-the-shelf product, unfortunately, chaps. Probably could make another one, but it's quite labour intensive to make them. But you know, we've had a customer inquiry this week, so we've got to come back to see if we can look into manufacturing those. So scuttle, bulkhead, and all of that's all fitted, dry fitted, and then we bolted on this week. They'll be ready to polished up, but we've bolted on the carbon rear wings. So these are pre-peg carbon, very lightweight. You can hear, sound like aluminium, very strong. So we've done a mock-up on those. We're aiming to keep this car, I say, extremely light. That's gone in. The black fuel cap's gone in as well. So we've got the black fuel cap, and that's all plumbed up to the fuel tank as well. That's all gone in. Nice little touch. And then we'll be on with the hoses. Again, handbrake cables have gone in. We'll start to cut these lights. Will go in there. They're all wired up. We've just got to start cutting them in over the next sort of few days as well. In the lead up to Christmas. And again, this will be another one that we'll finish off in the new year. But yeah, it's taking steady progress out of the three, because we're sort of tackling all 3 or 4 different projects at a time. So we had another chassis arrive now. This has just arrived, another chassis coming in. This has got to be out before Christmas. So we've attacked this yesterday, come back from the powder coaters, and we'll take the floor pan off. The floor pan here, that's all powder coated. It's all been pre-drilled, ready for fitment. It's all quick and easy then to bond and fold down. We've got to bolt this on for the customer, and then we started on the floor pan, then also the brake lines. So the brake lines we've put in on this, so we'll be doing a fuel line and brake line fitting service for this customer. So all the front ones have gone in straight up to a 4-way T here, and then the brake light switch will go in this section, and then these go out to 2 little brackets here, which will have your braided hoses which attach then out to your caliper. This is a round tube chassis, RR, but it's going to be Mazda based, but he wants it fully rose jointed as well, so it's slightly lighter chassis. And then we've got the rear brake line running through the centre tunnel out to a T-piece here, a 3-way T rather than a 4-way, which again runs out. We have our brackets here already pre-mounted for your braided hose to come out to your caliper as well. So it's just a 3-way. So it's a pretty simple fitting process on those as well. Gone for the X-brace roll bar rather than the full cage, but do remember, chaps, all the roll cage fittings are in there and on the back. If you do at a later date decide to bolt in a cage, or the car gets sold on and the new owner wants a cage, it can be done. You ain't got to weld, you ain't got to fabricate, just buy and bolt on, which is what we like. We like that. So yeah, that's good. And this is going out Wednesday. I think the customer's Wednesday morning. Lucky customer Julian's coming to collect. So there you go, Julian. Nice, another Christmas present. Oh, we do like that indeed. I feel like, yeah, I should wear a Father for Christmas outfit, but delivering all these lovely goodies. So brilliant. What else is next? Let's go and have a look. So I'll tell you what's next. John's S2000. But unfortunately, it's gone. He's collected it already. So we'll show you some stills of that one. Obviously, you know that we did the carbon rear arches, the pre-preg front arches, made all new wing stays, boot cover, sorted out a couple of bits in exhaust, and we showed you the fuel gauge where we changed that, reversed that basically from full to empty and empty to full. It's a nice little gadget that if you do have those complications, it can be done. So we'll show you some pictures of that rather than a video and a walk round. So that's it. 2020, where's that gone? Flown by. I know we've had such a lot of fun this year as well, despite all what's gone on, and we've loved We love doing what we do, enjoying building these kits, and this is our baby. So what we're going to be doing, we spoke about it, we're doing so next week, obviously it's Christmas time, so we're not going to be in, and hopefully you'll be enjoying some turkey and a few beers and wines or whatever, and socialising. That'd be great with the family. So we're going to be doing a Christmas special. So me and Neil are going to sit down, we're going to talk about 2020, talk about what's coming 2021, maybe some personal questions as well. So look out for that. When are we going to launch that, Neil?
That'll go the week between Christmas and New Year.
Between Christmas and New Year, so we'll launch that out. So if you are subscribed already, it'll pop up on your feed anyway. So that's it from me, really. That's it from Neil. That's it from the team. We'll sign off and say, have a lovely Christmas, fantastic New Year, and let's really hope 2021 delivers what these cars are all about. Track days, roads, driving. And if you want to get a kit and you want to get part of this amazing family that we love so much, pick up the phone, chaps, or give us an email. See you then, guys.